Captain's log, stardate 2641.12.09. We have been engaged in seemingly endless battles with radar drones in the past days. While the nanosystems keep conducting automated repairs on the ship, the strain this has put on the crew is considerable. We took 2 heavy hits from a destroyer plasma cannon, which breached the hull behind the bridge and put most systems out of action. It is honestly a miracle that nobody was seriously injured. We have gathered valuable resources from the wreckage, and Ensign Cygnus Lee has been able to analyze the drone's attack patterns, allowing her to triangulate a likely command and control location for the radar threat. However, the crew needs rest, and every one of them, except Lieutenant Commander Avery and Ensign Cygnus Lee, are unaccustomed to the strains of combat, so I have called for several days of land leave on Seleno, while we await the return of the Goryr to try and barter for resources. Unfortunately, the Goryr have been absent in the last couple of days, and we have no idea where they are or when they will return. So I've done a few more patrols, shot down a few more red radar drones, but in general it seems that we'll have to make do with the resources that we can gather, and unfortunately the only thing we get from the raiders is aluminium and titanium, not the other stuff. So that said, we may have to take another look. I might pick up the Mark II design. We're still 4 gold, 1 iridium and 1 chirolite short. The big problem is the reactor, which is the chirolite. So we do need to absolutely get that. I'm not sure entirely certain what I needed the iridium for. Oh, that's the front deflector. That's why. Yeah. So iridium is something. Gold would be for the engines. So we could shrink that down and just keep running with the Mark I engines. Can't easily get in. I could put the Surveylander somewhere else, but that would be really looking awkward. So one thing I could potentially do would be to put to do something like this, and then put a single engine here. So we get 3 engines, but it's a weird looking setup. But either way, we're really short on. We do need the iridium and the chirolite. So unfortunately, for the time being, we can't quite upgrade the ship as it is. So let's revert for now and see what we can put in that doesn't require us to trade with the Goryr. So one thing I can do is I can put the void wings in, maybe it's in the rear actually, which is going to increase our void speed. I could put additional. I have the yttrium. I have enough yttrium. That's not a problem. I could put enough plasma guns onto this till the end of days. But the problem is I don't have the chirolite for the reactor. So we're already drawing significantly more than what the single microreactor is outputting, which means that adding more guns to it isn't going to help, because we will only be able to fire in short destructive bursts, and we can already not sustain fire for particularly long. And I can't put a battery in either because we don't have the copper for it. But that said, I think what we can try is to put a bulkhead. Actually, I need to do this the other way around. So I could put a bulkhead there. No. All right, I'm trying to put a bulkhead behind them. It's going to have to rebuild this from scratch. So I might try to see if I can fit 4 plasma turrets in. We could maybe use a forward. How much iridium? We've got 4 iridium. So we could put a half deflector forward, which is better than nothing. Better than it's not as good as the full deflector. We could put the half deflector forward, and then we'll just have to rebuild this. So we would put a single microreactor, which is all we can fit, because we don't have the second chirolite, and we can put 1, 2 plasmas, and then we might need a bulkhead behind this, and then we could fit 2 more plasma guns here. And then we could stick, theoretically, I might need additional bulkheads here in the rear just to fit that in. We do have we do have enough for 3 engines, which would give us a little bit more speed. And we could fit the small wings in here. The problem is, where am I going to stick the survey lander? Now I can't easily put it. So what I could do probably is I put a bulkhead here and then just elongate the whole thing a little bit. I should have the. I can't easily put armor in here, but I might be able to stick the survey lander somewhere here without disturbing the heat profile too much. Actually, the engine isn't particularly happy. Yeah, the third engine here isn't particularly happy about the heat profile. We don't have enough gold for a fourth engine. I don't think this gets any better if I'm taking the survey lander off. Yeah, the survey lander has nothing to do with that. So we would probably have to do it like this and put we can't go, can we? Yes, we can still. Okay, that's pretty much the last section we can use. What we can do is we can turn these into forward wings in a sort of format like that. But that wouldn't help with the heat dissipation either. And we could stick 2 more bulkheads on this and get the engine spaced out a little bit. This would solve the heat problems. If I can, yeah, can I finagle that in there? Yes, I can. And it would also allow me probably still to put the survey lander here. Just for symmetry, do I have enough for another half deflector? Actually, we don't have enough titanium because of all the bulkheads. Okay, so that's not working. We could take the void surfaces off. That gave us enough titanium, but I want those. So we'd shrink that. I don't think we can put the survey lander in here, can we? Yes, we can actually. Okay, so it can come down from the bottom of the ship. So with that, we could then let's see how that looks from a heat profile, because this engine is a little bit more exposed, and we could attach the wings in this sort of configuration. We could even pull the plasma turrets a little bit forward. No, they're not particularly happy about that. I don't like to leaving the middle of the ship so exposed. I would love to have at least a little bit of armor on it. How much is, what's armor? Armor costs iridium. We have 2 iridium, so I could fit 2 mini deflectors to protect the bridge a little bit. We'll just have to see what the heat profile is saying. We're still leaving our reactor core awfully exposed, but this is, I don't have additional iridium for any further armor. And we're also significantly overloading our, I could put these, no, I have to use these, I need these for connectors here with the rear, because that's the survey lander in the middle. It's a bit of an awkward setup almost. Let's see what that looks like if I pull these a little bit to the rear. Just kind of a central setup. Is that overloading the heat on the... Is that worsening the heat signature on the rear plasma turrets? No, not noticeably. So I could put them like that, and then get the deflectors in here. That still leaves the bridge. Do I have enough titanium for additional? No, this actually would make that significantly worse. So we'd sort of have this kind of setup that would. Does that improve the heat on the rear plasma turrets? Yeah, ish. Looks even worse, to be honest. So let's put them here, and then we'll put the deflectors just to protect the bridge a little bit, because if we take hits on the bridge, that's it. So this would be what we could work with at this point. We've got the yttrium for even more plasma guns. But the problem is both the heat dissipation and the more of it, the energy output, because we just don't have the chirolite or the copper to create sufficient power reserves. So this would be a possible layout. I'm not loving it, but it would give us a bit more firepower to start try to a bit more speed and firepower to try taking on these raiders. So I would still prefer my original design, but we're going to run with this for now. So it's a bit of a reconfiguration of the Artemis with an additional plasma turret and an additional engine in the rear. And with that, given that the Goryr are nowhere to be seen and trading isn't an option, I think we'll go and test out the new and improved upgunned Artemis against the raiders in the systems that we had to evacuate previously and couldn't completely scan. So we'll be heading over here to this system. There's still a rocky planet this seems to be unnecessarily complex. Let's head over to the other. This system generally has a few drones in it, but there seem to be a way for now. Let's head over through the flinger then and see if we can find some more raiders to... Oh no, there they are. Okay, let's test out our new ship and see... Oh, that's actually not a drone. That's a Lancer. Let's test out the new... yeah, the weapons are drawing energy really quickly, but the forward deflectors and the forward armor is actually quite helpful in taking on damage from these things. So I think with the improved firepower and the forward armor, we're actually having a lot more success in combat now. So let's roll with that. I think that was a good first test. Let's see if we can make it. No, let's move here. I don't know why he's trying to send me through the Ermir system. I think the flinger here should be sufficient to get us there. All right, this design, while not my favorite, does have significantly improved combat power, although energy generation is still a massive problem. There's still another light Lancer here, and I think we'll take this one on with the initial burst, and then once the energy runs out, we'll have to wait a little bit for the reactor to refill the plasma batteries. But with 3 bursts, we can take out one of these without taking too much damage in return. And he seems to have dropped something else. So this is aluminium. What else has he dropped here? Copper. Okay, copper is much welcome. 2 more Lancers. So now that we actually have some armor plating forward, we're going to take them on much more head first, because the plating has some power in deflecting the incoming fire. And with the guns not operating at full capacity while the reactor is recharging, we still have sufficient firepower to take on the Lancers without too much problem. Now the destroyers might be another issue altogether, but the Lancers are more easily taken down. So Ensign Cygnus Lee is certainly enjoying her new fire control console and making things go boom in space. 10 aluminium and some yttrium, which I don't need. Okay, let's head to that rocky planet that we had previously while some repairs on the Void Wings are underway. This also improves generally our speed, not just... actually more Lancers here. 3 of them, okay. The Void Wings do improve our speed in deep space quite significantly, so that's something that is much welcome and not as difficult to work with. Now we do have to not get overly aggressive. If we're taking on 3 Lancers at once, we do have to. We don't have the armor quite to deal with that, but we can get into range. We can still repel them quite effectively. And we just need to reduce their numbers sufficiently that we can go into get into more close combat. So for now, we'll armor towards the enemy and keep the distance up, especially when it comes to their main guns, which are still doing a fair amount of damage, even with the improved forward armor. But at least we have some forward armor now, which we previously didn't have, so that is much welcome. Okay, close encounter. We should be able to mostly deflect the raiders' plasma turrets. I think it's just one actually on the light lancers, and that just leaves the last one. Okay, come on, into range, and a full salvo. Yeah, the forward turrets are still very much capable of punching through the new armor plating and doing damage to the internal systems, but that just means we have to be a little bit more careful, especially with destroyers. Alright, but still significantly easier battles than we previously had, so I'm not happy with the amount of energy we have available, but we can make do. So for now, this rocky world that had previously we hadn't been able to scan, while the nano repairs are underway, we're gonna scan and see if we can send the away team down. Yes, we can. See what we find on this particular rocky planet. The structure appears to be an intermittently used outpost with cramped living quarters and a communications array. Okay, have the team search the structure. There's nothing really of value, but Ensign Gleason notices that the waste recycler is jammed with a magnetic memory disk. They're able to recover several log messages regarding mineral transfers and one interesting entry. Expect increased raw material orders from both Nimian and Kiernan factions by Unintelligible. I recommend the Unintelligible system. Easy access and low profile, not well known to other Unintelligible. The message is followed by what appears to be another set of gateway coordinates. So lots of interesting new information that we've learned. So there are two other, we'll call them factions, because that's the term they're using. So we got the Nimian and the Kiernan, who we have not met yet, and somebody is smuggling potentially raw materials to both factions. Maybe they're in conflict in some way, and we appear to have located wherever that would be. Okay, we've actually got gateway coordinates for potential resource drop. So that might actually be very tempting to go there. Though that said, there is still another star here that we need to investigate. So let's head over to that system, and we'll see how once the void wings the nano repairs on the void wings are actually complete, we'll see how if we're going significantly faster in the empty space in this with this new configuration. All right, so lunar, a desert, so one moon, a desert world, and a rocky world surrounding an orange star. So far, no enemy, actually make that two rocky worlds, no enemy contacts on the sensors for now. Although our sensors do need improvement, but it is... I'm starting to like this ship, actually. I'm just not happy with the exposed center section. All right, let's scan this large moon and see what's on it. Survey team away. There has been something that came up on the scanners. The planetoid is perforated with dozens of irregular deep shafts around 2 to 3 meters wide. Scans show they range in depth from 50 to over 800 meters deep. Ensign Perks isn't confident that the anomaly reading is actually something down there. It could be an echo distortion. The tight space and crumbling walls will make it a tricky descent. So, Lieutenant Commander Avery will have to ask Ensign Perks what's her confidence of trying to crawl into these old, whatever mine shafts they are. 2 to 3 meters wide, crumbling wall and tight spaces. Yeah, she is not particular confident, and we definitely don't want to risk her life. So let's return for now. We might come back later if we can find some specialized. We might bring some specialized equipment, or we just have to see if Ensign Perks becomes a little bit more skilled. Okay, we've got raiders. To nobody's great surprise, we've got scouts and a destroyer. So let's finish off the scouts first. I think we can make very short work of these, and then we'll take on the destroyer. Okay, there comes the destroyer already. Yeah, we have to be careful with the forward cannons. They are doing a lot of damage. Let's get the drones out of the way, the scouts. But that's where the engine power comes in, because we are, especially if we got the engines running, we are not capable of recharging the plasma bunks fast enough. Let's get the ship repairs underway and see that we can finish this drone off with another burst. There we go. Drone has been destroyed, and I think the destroyer is probably a little further behind. No, actually, it's within firing range of the forward plasma cannons. So care must be taken. Drones first, then destroyer. Okay, strip away his escorts, and then we'll deal with the main threat. Okay, that's these two, and that leaves the destroyer. Now we can't tank the forward cannons, so we do have to maintain distance and make sure that not too much of the main plasma cannons in the front is actually hitting us. And obviously we do need to be careful with the amount of energy that we have available. So maintain distance. Oof! Yeah, they're getting straight through the armor plating at this range. Okay, distance. Navigation sectors have been offline briefly. New scouts are warping into the system, but we need to get repairs underway. So the new armor plating is good, but it cannot stand up to destroyer class fixed plasma beams. Okay, let's take out the drones first that are incoming, because they've gotten in some reinforcements. So getting into a close range engagement with the destroyer, these things are significantly sturdier than we are. So it's not something we can do just yet. Okay, nanos repair systems up, and that's another drone. There we go. Drone destroyed, but we do have to keep our distance to that thing, because those forward guns are no joke. Okay, is that oh, that's another destroyer. Okay, we've got two of them now, and we've got another drone to deal with. So longer battle potentially. I'm gonna cut out the rest, but we will get them eventually. We just have to be a little careful with our tactics here. That we're not taking the hits from the main guns. Yeah, at distance, if the plasma firepower has dissipated a little bit, we can take it, but at close range, very much not. Okay, we've got the first one. They are actually having a pattern. So they normally their attack patterns are that they come in for a run, they fire their forward cannons, then they turn around, open up the distance, and try to fire their secondaries. So if we can successfully avoid their forward cannons, they don't have enough energy storage to do significant damage with the secondary plasma turrets, and unless they're turning around, they cannot use their forward guns anymore. So we can actually do a significant amount of damage to them that way, while maintaining somewhat safe distance. Of course, if there's more than one opponent, then that's a completely different story. But if it's just one of them, we can do this quite successfully, because the forward armor does hold up reasonably well to the secondary plasma turrets, and I think I've disabled his engines, so he's actually not capable. He's not actually capable of escaping anymore. All right, there we go. So that nets us titanium, and now we finally can. Oh, that was the one we initially investigated. So let's finally return after that particular battle. Let's get the ship repaired. Nano repairs up. Go to the desert world that we had previously approached when we were intercepted by the raiders. So probably still not ready to attack whatever raider base that is, but we're doing better than previously. Let me put it that way. Okay, let's scan the desert planet while the last repairs are being done. No anomalies here. There's another Up, more scouts, and another destroyer warped in. So I guess I'm gonna have to take these on now. At distance the forward guns are reasonably easy to deal with, but at close, it's important to follow their patterns. So the destroyer is now going to make an attack run, which means I'm gonna stay with the drone, finish that off, and then avoid the incoming fire from the destroyer while we're dealing with the secondary drone. Or the secondary scout. The destroyer is a little bit more sluggish, so we can definitely outmaneuver that thing at this point. And let's kill that. Okay, there we go. That just leaves the destroyer. Now, you see the destroyer did not complete his attack run, which means, okay, now he's turning to bring the forward turrets to bear. So we need to open up the distance. And if we open it up enough, if we get out of range, they will actually abort the attack run, allowing us to open up again. And at this distance, the armor plate holds up reasonably well against the forward guns, the forward plasmas. We just don't have enough energy for the. We don't have enough energy if we're using the. We're using the speed boost. Okay, that should have been enough. Yeah, he's turning. So now there come the secondary turrets, but we can get a good boost in before opening up the distance again. So with that approach, maintain the distance towards the forward turrets. Let him waste their shots once they come into range. Push them away with a short burst of plasma, and then we'll take them on again. Okay, that was reasonably close for that turn. And interestingly enough, he's not... Yeah, okay, there he goes. Now he's turning away. So that was the burst from the secondaries, and now we can get some shots into his engines without taking too much damage ourselves. Okay, back off again and get him to fire the forward guns, or see if we can push him away. Okay, we pushed him away. That means only the turrets are available, and we can rinse and repeat that until we've taken him down. So once the knowing the attack patterns, this is almost like in a Souls game. Once you know the attack patterns of the enemies, things become a lot easier. All right, so there comes the attack run. Very predictable, these drones. And okay, attack run abandoned, so let's close the distance and get the unfortunately we don't have the energy once more. Close the distance a bit more, shoot off one more of his engines, and I think that's probably going to be it relatively soon. There he goes. Okay, so we've got this one down as well. Let's head back to that rocky world that we were investigating. And Ensign Cygnus Lee is getting significantly better at combat operations, I have to say that. Okay, rocky world scanning. There is something down there. Let's survey that. A cluster of discarded cylinders with curious bright markings lie next to a portable aluminium broadcast antenna. The antenna, which is solar powered, is still broadcasting. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Possible expletive. Didn't realize activation started as soon as the seal was broken. If they're not familiar with guild seals, opening one makes some sense to check what you had. But why all? After the first started glowing, I'd at least think before opening the next one. Second Legion would have known better. I still have the verification report certifying late Fallen Empire. There's probably no market for inert nanites, but I'll bring them with me. I'm not sticking around to disappoint the buyer. Okay, so somebody had some contraband of some sort, did open the containers, and we gathered some aluminium as well as one of the unsealed containers. So apparently something to do with a trade guild, and we've heard something about a second legion. That sounds military. Let's have the team return to the ship, and then, since we are currently not under attack for a change, let's investigate that unsealed cylinder. The decorations are connected to an array of interior sensors with a cryptographic network, possibly a mechanism to visually ensure the contents are not tampered or replaced. Interesting. Not much we can do with it for now, but it does give us some research points. And we'll have one more planet in this system to investigate. Then we will leave from here for now. Okay. Yep, another away team mission going in. The remains of a fairly recent battle between the Red Raider ships and some unknown victims are scattered over a wide area. Some of the wreckage has been salvaged, but whoever cleaned up either was in a hurry or couldn't haul much. There's a fair amount of valuable resources left. Aluminium, yttrium, and platinum, none of which I need. But we'll take it. There is always the possibility that the Goryr are actually going to return. We still have that planetoid to investigate. But and we could potentially risk a jump to that outpost, to that system that was designated by the outpost log. So that might be something. But I think for now, before that, I will actually return to Seleno and have one more check if the Goryr have returned, and potentially pick up some equipment for diving into mine shafts, if that's of any help. Yeah, the energy reserves are definitely too low, so for that we need chirolite, and I haven't found chirolite anywhere, which means we do need to meet the Goryr in order to be able to trade for the rare resources that we can't otherwise get our hands on. Personal log, Cassie Perks. I don't know if it was his intention, but my god, the captain has put us through the works the past days. I mean, I knew I signed up for dangerous missions when I joined the crew, but we've been battling those red drone ships for days non-stop and had more than a few close calls. I'm glad the captain has ordered leave. I'm gonna head to the bar on the station and see if I can find someone to unwind with for a while. Alex would be game if I asked him. He'd chase anyone remotely identifiable as female, but where's the fun in that? Nah, I'm going to chat up one of the local boys. I'm sure they don't get much action on the station, and I've got exciting stories to tell. Personal log, Brad Cromwell. I had the feeling that there was something unsaid between me and Lieutenant Commander Avery, so I've asked her to join me for drinks in the bar. I could have pulled up her personal record from the station's database, but I need there to be trust between me and my XO. It was a surprise to see her out of uniform. I told her about my liaison with Admiral Tower's daughter back on Terra, and how that got me shipped off to Maya. That actually got a laugh out of her. She did change the subject, and I know that there's something in her past she won't talk about, but I won't pry. Things turned more serious after. She has misgivings about Ensign Gliese and his insubordination. I wasn't aware of how much I was relying on her to manage the crew, and again, she's shockingly competent. My apology got another little smile. In the end, I think we understand each other much better, and I'll have to spend more time with the crew, for sure. After all, we have no idea how long we'll be stuck in this universe. Unfortunately, still no sign of the Goryr, so for now we'll risk a jump into that system, which coordinates we have found in the abandoned structure, in the abandoned outpost, and we will see what's going on there. Okay, jump to the system, nothing immediately on the sensors. We'll activate the gateway for a quick return if needed, but it seems that we are alone out here. Ooh, what have we here? This looks like an asteroid field of some sort, but for now let's take a look at these planets. There's one planet actually and one moon. Let's go take a look and see what we can find here. Because if they were shipping resources to these, whoever had the outpost was shipping resources to the, was it Kiernan and something else, then there might be something left behind here. Now we can obviously use, there's a comet as well. We can use the plasma guns to start shooting up the asteroids, And there, the CXTA are in here. Okay. Maybe we might be able to find something useful here. An unusually young asteroid field. It probably formed when a moon or planetoid broke up. There may be some valuable metals in the rocks. Yeah, definitely. That is. But for now, let's quickly scan the planet and see if there's. We have picked up an ancient calculator. So one of the rocks actually had an artifact in it. Fascinating. Okay, let's land on this planet and see what's going down there, because we can't trade with the CXTA. But we might be able to find something. An old refinery converted to a trading outpost sits in a wide crater. A cluster of furry bipeds greet the survey team and offer a variety of resources. It quickly becomes apparent that their pricing has a healthy margin built in. Oh, okay, we can trade with them here. Let's see. I actually now have the have an idea about the like how well the things are priced. So, for example, these guys purchase uranium at 19% under market. And they sell uranium at 90% over market price. So yeah, these guys are trading expensive. Okay, let's not do that. We'll return to the ship for now. But I think what I'll do is I'll go through and clear out this asteroid field and see if we can find we can pick up a few minerals here and there. That would most definitely. Definitely be worth it. But meanwhile, we are being hauled by the CXTA. Commander Cromwell, we have heard that Artemis explores many sectors, even off the main routes. We have a replacement delivery for a carrier that has gone missing, and the destination is off our route. Is your lance unhired? Okay, Ensign Triton pulls me aside. They're making an effort to flatter us by using our language, but it's just confusing the translator. They're asking if we are available for freelance work. I guess if they are, I guess they're not asking any questions, but I'll ask anyway. What is in the delivery? Medical supplies, nothing restricted, all above the table. A colony has had an outbreak of gallium crystal parasites, not dangerous to carbon life. Oh, okay. So they're having some medical supplies for a potentially, I would assume, dangerous planet. A planet which has an outbreak that is dangerous to them, and but again, since we are carbon-based, which they are likely not, it would be not dangerous to us. Well, at least that's what they're saying. But I can ask Ensign Rhea about that. How much would you pay us? 50% of the commission, 10 units of gold. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think I trust Ensign Triton to try and negotiate a better percentage there. Also, we are trying to get on the good sides of the races here, so let's not be hasty there. We'll do it. Transferring cargo and transmitting delivery coordinate. Find any CXT agent after delivery for payment. Okay. Well, that is great news. And we're picking up silver, which is what we would need. For the for trading. Was it the Goryr that were trading in silver? I think they were trading in silver, so that would be worth our while for sure. Okay, but first I'm gonna go through and mine out this asteroid field. Oh, there's the comet again. Comet has a high density of iron oxide collected from primordial planets early during the system's formation. Great to know. All right, let's. That's 150 research points, and it has left something behind up there. Yeah, there it is. It has dropped. What has it dropped here? Gold. Okay, gold is welcome. We need gold for engines, I think. So yeah, I'll get to mining that in a second. This is a very rich asteroid field, and I think a very good find. But for now, we have the CXTA medicine container. It's a cargo container, it's sealed, but I'm going to have the crew scan it regardless, just to make sure that there's nothing dangerous in there. Organic compounds useful for synthesizing a wide range of medical treatments for silicon-based life forms. Okay, so then I guess if Ensign Rhea agrees that the cargo is harmless, then we'll take it. And we actually found this in one of the asteroid rocks, an ancient calculator. A primitive computer used for predicting the orbits of celestial bodies. It's just like the Antikythera mechanism, except it's electronic and in space. Antikythera is very, very fascinating if you want to read up on that. It's very old, but this one is in space. All right, I'm going to switch the... I'm going to get Ensign Cygnus Lee to put the guns on auto fire. We'll just let the computer let the targeting computer take down the asteroids, and we'll just fly through and pick up stuff. We've got some copper, some more aluminium. Copper would be useful for... Yeah, the guns are running out of power consistently. Copper would be useful for potentially for engine storage, but copper is also something that the Airmere were interested in, according to the Goryr. The Airmere are guarding that one system that we were looking at, but so far they've not been willing to communicate with us any further. Okay, yeah, the asteroid is going, the comet is going through the asteroid field and is breaking up some of the goods. But yeah, maybe if we bring some copper. If that is the ammunition, if that is the not ammunition, that's the currency that they're trading in, then I think maybe we can come to a better understanding with them. But we will see how it turns out. Anyway, for now, we'll just go through and clear that all out and collect all the useful resources. We have picked up a stone skull. Okay, another artifact that was hidden within the asteroid field. Let's check that out and see what we can get. That appear to be an unusually shaped rock, but it's actually a fossilized skull. It seems to have 4 eyes. The creature had a very unusual biology, probably evolved in a low gravity environment. Unfortunately, the specimen is so degraded that there's little else to learn. Okay, at least we got 15 research points out of it. So this asteroid field is not just rich in minerals, and we've picked up a fair amount of stuff already, but it is also containing some interesting artifacts. So that's definitely something. And we can always, if the Goryr continue to be unavailable, I don't know if they would actually offer us better rates. We can return here to trade with the furries. There's a group of furry creatures that is mining the asteroids, I'm assuming, and that are trading in rare resources. So, for example, Chirolite, which I'm seeming to be consistently short of, is unavailable, and that might be something we can trade off. But for now, we'll go through and clean up the rest of this asteroid field, at least the visible bits, and collect all the minerals, and then I'll probably return to Seleno, unless there's something else very interesting out here. I'm going to return to Seleno. We'll drop off our cargo into the station's warehouse, because we're not going to be able to carry that all, and see if we can upgrade the energy situation on the Artemis to get to an improved state. Because with the goal eventually, we're still on our mission to take down the raiders. Another artifact, an orange glyph sphere. Let's see what that is. A small 3 centimeters orange sphere covered in raised glyphs of an unknown language. Analysis shows that the markings are something of a hybrid between natural language and a machine language. Maybe something to instruct an AI. Interesting. We'll find all kinds of good stuff here. One last comment on this. A bit of a missed opportunity that the asteroids aren't moving faster. And because I would assume they're doing a lot of damage to the ship if they hit us. And that would have been a great little asteroids reference. But it's fun as it is to go through and shoot things up. Okay, I've picked up everything that the sensors could find in this dust cloud, and with that our cargo hold is definitely a lot fuller than it used to be. We've got 35 copper and 29 silver. Unfortunately, we have not gotten any chirolite. So, given that the traders here are rather pricey, or rather highly pricing things, we've also picked up a green glyph sphere. By the rules of 3, there should be another one, but I've only found 2 so far. Verifies and expands our previous hypothesis regarding the orange sphere. These objects contain instructions that could be understood by both humans and a fairly advanced AI. Fascinating. For now, we'll return to Seleno, have a look if the Goryr have returned, because they might be able to give us some better prices. Otherwise, we'll trade for a chirolite with the locals here at the asteroid system. And get that. I think it was just 1 chirolite that we were missing for. Yeah, I think the Goryr are still not back. No, the Goryr are not back. All right, so I'm on a trade with the locals for the chirolite that we're missing, and then we can return to Seleno and finally get the ship properly upgraded into a form that is actually capable of sustaining some fire. Alright, I've traded for an additional iridium and an additional chirolite, which should allow us to bring the full forward plating in, and to fit an additional engine in as well. That said, actually I might consider just running with 3 engines and instead see if we can fit a little bit more firepower into this thing. So we do have 280 research points. So I'm curious. Let's research the fixed forward plasma guns and see what that would entail. So now that unlocks the fixed 12 yttrium. That we actually have that. So they're basically plasma guns. So right now, let's see what that would look like. So right now with 4 Mark 1 plasma turrets, we are drawing peak draw of 9.3 gigajoule for about the same. So it's about 1 gigajoule for 1 point of damage on the regular plasmas. So if I'm going to we could fit one of these forward. That is going to draw an additional 4 gigajoule, but because of cooling problems is actually going to not work particularly well. So we are going to need, and I can't remember where they were, but we are going to need this isn't going to work at all. Not in front of the bridge for sure. Would that work if we put it on a bulkhead, say? Just to test out the heat requirements of these things. Would that work is the question. So 6.62, it looks like that would be a negative. Okay, so the fixed plasma guns need active cooling, otherwise they drop off significantly. Let's see if we can find out where the active cooling was. I remember that there was one. Increased rate at which modules dissipate heat, module hardening. Heavy deflectors. It might be a technology that exhaust vents. Oh yeah, that's where it was. Yeah, so we could go through the entropic shunts and for the exhaust vents, and that might allow us to do a little bit more. We could also get the Mark II engines, but we probably don't have the resources for those. I'm actually happy with the engines at this point. We've got 180 points left, so we've got a few things we could do. We could try and go for the fixed guns, and I could get coil projection for range and speed, and I could get increased damage or target assist. That would be possible if we did that, but I can't really use the fixed guns without the exhaust vents, and that already is going to cost me 135. So we can either go for the 135 to get the exhaust vents to allow us to use the fixed plasma cannons, that might be worth doing. Let's get the entropic shunts, because that is a passive buff, which already increases heat dissipation. And I'm going to get the exhaust vents, which are... and then we have got 45 left that we can see if we can find something. Frictionless bearings, that's the turn rate of the turrets, not really important. Max energy reserves by 7%, that would actually be neat. We can get that. Other than that, what do we have? Could get a tractor beam splitter to collect 2 items at once. Or the Mark 1 scanner. Oh, I think I'm going to get the scanner module for the increased detection range. There we go. All right, let's play. I'll play a little bit with the setup and see if I can find a way to make fixed guns work on the scout bridge. All right, after some redesigning, we have the Mark II Vega Scout, a compact gunship with a total firepower of 9 points DPS on the plasmas and 13 point DPS on the fixed cannons. We have 2 outwards facing fixed guns on each side, both with their own individual exhaust ports. We've actually got the internal bay for the survey lander, which is armored from the outside. The whole ship is armored on the front as well as somewhat armored on the side. We've got triple engines, we've got 3 reactors, we've got a scanner station, as well as the void surfaces and some additional exhaust vents. So all in all, we can now do a void speed of 79 astronomical units per second. And we're still not great in terms of the whole energy setup, but with 3 reactors, we actually have a reserve now of 25. A peak draw of 16 and an energy output of 11 gigajoules per second from the reactors. We definitely need better reactors in order to, but we're also completely maxing out the hull size. So the next research is going to go towards a larger hull, because the Vega class Scout is going to be not insufficient going forward. We're going to need a larger hull, or a larger bridge for more hull space. We can still get 5 points out by compact construction, so we can still put a little bit more onto the Scout hull. But for now, this is the Mark II Vega coming out of the robotic dockyard, and with that, we are. Lieutenant Avery immediately comments on our new fixed gun setup. It makes targeting harder when a potential target is close to in range. Will enable tracers to highlight, which will highlight where hits are possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the plasma cannons to automatic fire, and I'm going to be using the fixed guns manually. We've got 3 engines in the rear. We've got a relatively good maneuverability. It's not the prettiest ship out there. It looks like it honestly looks like some form of beetle, but it is a very compact gunship that brings really the most out of the limited availability of space that we can support with the small Vega bridge. And we're going to go for a larger ship once we have actually unlocked the sufficient technology. But for now, with this, we should be able to make our way towards the Red Raider core region and see if we can finally deal with the threat coming out of it. Because while she's not pretty, she does pack a pretty heavy punch.